Flexion. Before the world ever doubted you, you doubted yourself. Flexion. And the day you win that war inside your mind is the day your whole life changes. You have to understand that the very first place you ever fight for your life is inside your own mind. Flexion. Long before the world doubts you, you've already doubted yourself 1,000 times. Long before someone tells you no, you've whispered no to your own potential. That battlefield is quiet, flexion, private and invisible, yet it decides more than any external challenge ever will. If you let fear take command, it will chain you to the ground even when the door is wide open. Reflection. If you let insecurity speak louder than possibility, you'll lower yourself before the world ever gets the chance. And if you let old stories define you, reflection, you'll act like a prisoner long after the sentence has expired. Changing the way you see yourself is not easy, but it is necessary if you want to break through your life's ceiling. Flexion, because everything, your choices, your habits, your expectations, begins with the picture you hold of yourself. When you clean up that picture, flexion, you reshape your entire destiny from the inside out. Most people never realize how often they sabotage their own progress without ever recognizing it. Reflection, they talk themselves out of opportunities because they think they're not ready or not worthy. Reflection, they compare themselves to people who are not walking their path and decide they're too far behind. They rehearse old failures like a private movie. Reflection, convincing themselves the ending will always be the same. They underestimate the power of their own voice, the voice inside, the one that whispers doubt or courage. Flexion, when that voice whispers doubt, it slows your steps and shrinks your presence in the world. When it whispers courage, doors you once feared suddenly look like invitations. Flexion, the battle is not about pretending fear doesn't exist. It's about refusing to let fear be the narrator. You change the narrator, you change the narrative. You change the narrative, flexion. You change what becomes possible for your life. Changing the way you see yourself means taking responsibility for the story you repeat every day. Reflection. It means questioning the beliefs you inherited from people who never walked in your shoes. It means refusing to carry labels that someone else slapped on you out of their own insecurity. Reflection. It means challenging the quiet assumptions that keep you small, tired, or uncertain. It means recognizing that you have the power to decide which thoughts get to stay and which must go. Flexion. If a belief holds you back, you don't owe it loyalty. You owe yourself freedom. If a thought belittles you, it's not truth. It's a habit, and habits can be rebuilt. If a memory weakens you, reflection, you can rewrite what it means instead of letting it rewrite you. This process takes honesty, courage, and a willingness to confront your internal reflection. But when you change that reflection, flexion, the world begins to treat you the way you treat yourself. Every champion, every innovator, every leader you've ever admired learned this truth the hard way. Flexion, they faced moments where their confidence cracked and their self-belief wavered. They stood in front of mountains that looked too high and expectations that looked too heavy. But they chose flexion deliberately to see themselves as someone capable of rising to the moment. They didn't wait for applause to validate them. They validated themselves with preparation and belief. Flexion. They didn't let fear stop them. They allowed it to sharpen their focus and deepen their commitment. They didn't shrink from the pressure. They used it as fuel to become stronger. Reflection, their breakthroughs were not born from luck. They were born from an internal decision. A decision that said, I am worthy of more than my doubt suggests. When you make that same decision, reflection, your world starts to rearrange around your new identity. The way you see yourself influences how you show up in rooms, conversations, and opportunities. Reflection, if you walk in thinking you're not enough, the world will greet you with that same energy. If you walk in believing you belong, people feel it before you even open your mouth. Reflection, your posture changes, your voice steadies, your presence grows. Doors that once seemed intimidating become accessible because you see yourself differently. Flexion, obstacles that once overwhelmed you become challenges you're ready to solve. People who once intimidated you become peers, not giants towering over your worth. Flexion, and life stops being something that happens to you and becomes something you actively shape. This is not arrogance. This is alignment with the truth of your potential. Flexion, and potential only activates when you believe you are worthy of stepping into it. The moment you shift how you see yourself, you start taking actions your old self would never take. Reflection, you apply for opportunities that once scared you because now you see yourself as capable. You pursue growth instead of comfort because comfort no longer feels like home. Reflection, you protect your peace because you understand your value. You speak with conviction because your voice is no longer battling doubt. Flexion, you set boundaries because you recognize your life is worth defending. You invest in your future because you trust yourself to create one you deserve. Flexion. You stop hiding your gifts because hiding no longer feels natural. You take risks that move your life forward because fear no longer runs the show. And with each step, reflection. The person you once feared becoming becomes the person you're proud to meet. Most people never realize how much potential they bury under doubt, fear, and the opinions of others. Flexion. They shrink their voice because someone once told them they were too loud or not enough. They minimize their dreams because life taught them to survive instead of aspire. Flexion. They hold back their talent because they believe greatness is meant for someone else. But the truth is this: you are built with more strength, depth, reflection, and resilience than you give yourself credit for. Your story is layered with battles you've already won, even if you forget how far you've come. Reflection. You've weathered storms that would have drowned a weaker version of you. You've carried weights others never saw, yet you kept moving when stopping seemed easier. Flexion. You've survived moments that cracked you, shaped you, and refined you into someone capable of more. You are not behind. You are being prepared for something bigger than you imagine. Reflection. People often think greatness belongs only to the chosen few, the gifted, the lucky. But greatness belongs to those who dare to believe they can rise despite their flaws and failures. Reflection. Belief is the ignition switch that turns potential into power and vision into reality. When you see yourself as someone capable, you start acting like someone unstoppable. Reflection. You approach challenges with courage instead of hesitation, purpose instead of panic. You stop waiting for someone else to say, "You're ready," and decide that your moment is now. Reflection. You stop asking for permission to grow and start claiming the space you were meant to inhabit. You stop shrinking to fit the comfort of others and start expanding into your own possibility. Reflection. The door to your future doesn't open from the outside. It opens the moment you believe you can walk through it. You become powerful the moment you stop doubting your own design. Flexion. Inside you is a capacity you haven't even tested yet, a strength you haven't fully used. Every time you hold back, you deny yourself the chance to discover how high you can truly rise. Reflection. You don't have to be fearless to move forward. You just have to be willing. You don't have to be perfect to begin. You just have to start. Reflection. Even small steps become powerful when you take them consistently with belief. Even small victories accumulate into a momentum that rewrites your future. Reflection. Even small acts of courage reveal how much potential has been hiding inside you all along. Life responds to the level of belief you bring to the table, not the level of fear. Reflection. When you see yourself as capable of more, you start receiving more, attracting more, becoming more, and suddenly the world begins to reflect back the greatness you finally recognized in yourself. Reflection. Think about how many people never rise because they let someone else define their worth. They let a parent's doubt, a teacher's criticism, reflection, or a stranger's opinion become a lifelong limitation. They let one moment of failure convince them they were never made for success. Reflection. But your worth is not determined by someone who didn't see your vision. Your value is not defined by someone who never understood your calling. Reflection. Your capability is not measured by someone who never walked your path or fought your battles. You are the only one who knows the fire that burns in your chest, the dreams that keep you awake. Flexion. You are the only one who knows the strength it took to survive the moments that tried to break you. Reflection. You are the only one who knows how hungry you are to rise beyond everything that tried to hold you back. And the moment you believe you are built for more, you start living like it. Reflection. The world doesn't change when you wish for more. It changes when you decide to become more. The moment you raise your standards, your life rearranges itself around that new level. Reflection. You stop accepting the bare minimum because you recognize your worth demands more. You stop allowing toxic people to drain you because you understand your energy is golden. Reflection. You stop wasting time on distractions because you know your destiny requires focus. You stop hesitating because hesitation is the enemy of elevation. Flexion. You stop doubting yourself because doubt is the thief of everything you could be. You stop apologizing for wanting a bigger life because small thinking no longer fits your soul. Reflection. Your evolution begins the moment you choose belief over limitation, purpose over insecurity. And when you rise, the world around you has no choice but to make room. Reflection. You were not built to remain average, unnoticed, or uncertain. You were built to stand out. You were built to bring something to this world that only you can bring. Your gifts, your voice, reflection, your vision were not accidents. They were assignments. There is something inside you powerful enough to transform your life if you let it speak. Reflection. There is a strength inside you waiting for the chance to prove itself in the real world. There is a version of you that is bold, confident, and unshakable, waiting to be claimed. Flexion. But that version emerges only when you stop underestimating who you are, when you stop replaying old failures and start rehearsing your future victories. Reflection, when you stop living in the shadow of your fear and start living in the light of your potential, when you finally decide that the world will no longer get the small version of you. And so, reflection, believe in the parts of yourself you haven't explored yet. Believe in the strength you haven't tapped, the courage you haven't activated. Flexion, believe that your past does not disqualify your future and your flaws do not erase your power. Believe that the greatness inside you is real, present, and waiting for your permission to rise. Reflection, believe that you are worthy of every opportunity, every dream, and every victory destined for you. Believe that you do not need permission to evolve, expand, or elevate. Reflection, believe that there is more ahead of you than behind you. Believe that your story is still being written with chapters that will surprise even you. Flexion, believe that you were built for more than survival. You were built for significance. Because the moment you believe that, the world begins to believe it too.